this video, you're going to learn how to make an attractive looking website easily and quickly, in minutes actually, and we're going to learn to do it using the new Google Sites. Now, for years, Google has made it possible for people to create websites online for free, and I wouldn't say easy, but for free. And the way you could do that was by going to your Google account, signing in, and clicking here on the Google Apps. You can see there's a bunch of different apps listed here that I can use. Well, if I click down here where it says even more from Google, it brings up a list of every app that I have access to, and one of them is Sites. Here it is, create websites and secure group wikis. And this really is a good tool, but the thing is, it became outdated. Really, I feel like years ago it became outdated. And some people still love it, but for me, it's just always seemed kind of clunky and difficult to use. Well, Google has redesigned Google Sites and is rolling it out slowly, gradually. You may or may not have access to it now. If that's the case, then this tutorial is going to be more like a preview of what you will be able to get someday. But for some of you, especially if you are a teacher at a Google Apps for EDU school or district, you may be able to try this now and create a website with the new Google Sites. And the same might be true for businesses. If you work at a business that is a Google Apps for Business organization, then you may also have access to this now. Okay, so how do you access this new Google Sites if you actually have the ability to access it at this time? Well, you might try going to apps.google.com/products/sites, but this, at least right now, is not actually the right place to go. What you would want to do is just go into your Google Drive, the same Google Drive you use to make documents and presentations and spreadsheets. Just go to that same place and click on New to create a new document, and we get this pop-up. But if you go down to the bottom, you can put your mouse on the word More, and there's more options that appear. And look, Google Sites now appears, at least for some people, not everyone quite yet. If I click on that, Google Sites, it takes me to the new Google Sites. And I'll tell you, as someone who used the old version of Google Sites, this is just night and day better. It's a lot easier. The end result looks nicer. The downside is it's not quite as feature rich, at least at this point, but it's great. You could make excellent websites in minutes using the new Google Sites. Alright, so it takes me to this page and it says your page title. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that, and I'll put in my title. And I would like to make a website about the history of synth pop, which is an underappreciated musical genre in my opinion. Now, if you're a teacher, of course, you could pick a more academic subject, although this may be the pinnacle of academics, actually. So that easily, I have a title that is displayed for the visitors that come to this website. The thing is, though, I also need a title for this document. The document happens to be a website, right? But you also need to title your document for your own purposes so that you know which site you're working on. So here in the upper left, I need to click and drag and give this a name. Notice it also puts the name here in the upper left. Now, a couple other things that you can do just right here in the header of your website is you can change the background image and the header type if you would like. Let's start with the second one, header type. By clicking on header type, I can easily change it from banner, which is what I have now, to large banner, or to title only. So some very simple options. They all look good, to be honest, but the nice thing is it's really easy to switch between these three options. I'll click this back arrow to go back, and you can see that I also have the option to change the image. Instead of this nice grayish, bluish background image, I could just change it to something else. Okay, and there's a gallery, and I could just click through these. Let's see, what's something that evokes awesome, amazing music? Maybe that. Doesn't quite do it justice, but I'll stick with that. Now, the new Google Sites really has some amazing features built in. One of them is this. It automatically adjusted my background image to make my text more readable. So Google understands that, of course, your primary purpose for having the website is for people to read the text, to be able to understand what's there. And so it prioritizes being able to read the text, which of course is very important. Now, if you don't want that, you can click to remove the readability adjustment. Okay? And it's subtle, but in most cases it's probably going to be a good idea just to leave the readability adjustment in place. All right, I'm happy with that. Now that I've made my selections here for the banner and the title and the image in the background, I'm ready to start adding more content to my web page. And notice that I have 4 main things that I can add to my Google Sites pages. First, I can add text in the form of text boxes. I can also add images. I can use embed URL codes to bring in content from the internet. And I can also upload items from my computer. So these are the 4 main options. But notice that underneath that, there are some other sources of content. And we'll look at some of those a little bit later. Let's start with the text box. I'll just click on text box. And as soon as I click that, you can see a text box appears and some space is provided for me to type some text. So I'm going to basically type a welcome message here. Give me a few seconds to do that. Okay, great. So I have now written my welcome message basically to this wonderful website, and I'm ready to move on. So I can just click away from that text box and the changes become realized, and you can see it's now set. Now I could change that if I want to. I could just click and change the text. I can highlight text, I can bold, italicize, center. We've got all of these typical text options. I can also switch from regular text to heading or title. And so we have some typical font options that are important and useful. Okay, next I think a photo would really add a lot to this web page at this point. Some people may not really understand what SynthPop is without a good photo. So I'm just going to click Images, and to bring in a photo, all I have to do is choose one of these sources. I could select files from my computer or even click and drag files here to then be uploaded to my web page. Or if I know or have copied the URL, I could just click there and paste in the URL, and it would pull the image in onto the page. I can also tap into my albums in my Google account, or I can pull from my Google Drive. But the best option in many cases is this one. Just click search, and then you're going to do a search for images, and these images come from Google and Life. But also look, they're images that are labeled for commercial reuse with modification. So I'll just do a search for SynthPop. There's bound to be tons of great images to choose from. Okay, and I can just select one of these and pull it in. This one is somewhat typical probably. So I'll click on that, click select, and now I've got an image on the page of my website. And as is pretty typical, you can click and drag to make the images bigger. You can adjust their widths, which is basically cropping the image. So there's some things we can do there. You can also click and drag to position the image. And then over on the left side, notice that there is a selection background option. If you click on there, you can have it be regular or emphasized, even more emphasized, or an image in the background. And so basically what you're doing is changing the section behind the image. And you can do the same thing with text. Up here on text, I can easily go over here and change the emphasis behind the text. Okay. If you change your mind, of course, you can delete out the whole section, or you can just click on the image and delete the image there. Notice that there are some image options here also that appear. There's crop and uncrop. And you can just use this slider to crop the part that you want to crop, and you can just click and drag to keep what you want to keep. In this case, I don't want to crop at all, so I'll just undo that, click the check mark. You can undo your crop this way as well. You can turn your photo into a hyperlink, so it's clickable. That's kind of fun. So you can just click on that link and type in or copy paste the URL that you want it to link to. So for example, this wonderful SynthPop blog, I could just copy the URL for that, paste it in, click apply, and now anyone that clicks this photo will be taken directly to this amazing blog. All right, so really adding images to your Google site couldn't be easier in my opinion. Now I mentioned that you can also embed. Basically, it doesn't let you put in an official embed code, but rather what you do is you copy paste the URL to the item that you would like to embed, and Google will try to embed that for you. As an example, I'm going to go over here to a Pinterest board, and I'll just highlight and copy the URL of that board, and then back in my Google site, I'll just paste the URL, click add, and it's added a little Pinterest widget to my Google site. Now the fourth option we have here is upload. I can click upload, and so you can select files from your computer or click and drag files into this area and upload them that way into your Google site. Now next, what I really want to do is I want this to be the home page, and then I want there to be buttons that will take the viewer to other pages inside this website. So I'm going to delete this Pinterest widget for now. I just clicked on it and then tapped delete on the keyboard. I could have also just gone here to the left and clicked this delete button. But now what I'm going to want to do is put in some more text, and I'll just put in classic synth pop. I'll hit enter, modern underground synth pop, and modern popular synth pop. Okay, so I've got some text on the screen, and I could organize this differently if I wanted to. But now I would like each of these to be a hyperlink that takes you to a different page inside this History of Synth Pop website. So I'm going to click here where it says pages, and I'm going to add another page. And this page name is going to be Classic Synth Pop. I'll click done. Now I can add a second page, Modern Underground Synth Pop. Click done, and then I could add my third sub page and click done. So creating pages inside the website, again, couldn't be easier. This is just a really easy to use tool so far. Now, let's say I want to go back and link up my text. I just click on home, it takes me back to my home page, and now I can go down, click and drag on my first item of text. I can click here on hyperlink, insert link, and notice what it does. It pops up with the site pages that I've made. So it's super easy just to click, okay, that should go to Classic Synth Pop, apply. And then I can click away and my changes become effective. Next, Modern Underground Synth Pop. I highlight that and I'll link that up. Give me a few seconds to link up these other two sections of text to the pages that they're supposed to link to. Okay, great. Now, at this point, I really would like to preview what the official website's going to look like. I mean, this is nice, and I can get a sense of what it looks like, but if I go up to the top and click on this eye symbol, it's actually preview. If I click on preview, it gives me the real preview of what this website will look like as of right now if I were to publish it. And I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. One thing I would like to change, though, is my 3 hyperlinks that take you to the different pages in my website. They are kind of hidden. They're at the very bottom. I think they should be closer to the top. And there's some other changes I would probably make. So I'm going to go down and click X to get out of preview. Before I exit the preview, though, notice that they do have options to see what it would look like on a smartphone and on a tablet. I think this is just amazing, and my website is automatically set up to look pretty good on a smartphone and on a tablet. I'm going to X out of it to get back into the editing mode, and look how easy it is for me to reorder these items. I would like the text to be higher up. This is basically the navigation text, so I want to put it maybe right there, and so now it's a lot easier to see. Now you'll notice it also automatically created buttons and navigation for my website up here at the top, and I'll preview that again. When I created the other pages that are part of my website, these buttons were automatically created for me. And so I'll need to decide, do I really also want them down below? Maybe, maybe not, but it's really nice that it automatically creates the buttons here at the top as well. Again, I'm going to X out of the preview to get back to editing. Okay, now that I've got the pages that I want, I just need to add content to those pages. But before I do that, I want to show you that you can also change up the themes of your web pages. If I click on themes, notice it says simple. I've got the simple theme, and the color scheme is kind of bluish. I could switch that color scheme to any of these other options. It doesn't change it dramatically, but you'll see that the background colors and things do change. I kind of like the blue, but let's go with purple for a little while here. Also, I can switch from simple to Aristotle or to diplomat. And this is mostly changing the style of the text, as you can see. I really like simple, so I'm going to go with simple and blue, but you can make those changes here in themes. All right, I'm going to go back now to insert, just to quickly point out to you that you can pretty easily add content from Google Drive. You can just click Google Drive. It taps into your content that you already have in your Google Drive, and you could put in worksheets, you could put in handouts, reports, all sorts of things, just with the click of a button, basically, a couple of clicks. Just insert that in, and it appears there. I'm going to delete that. You can also put in a whole Google Drive folder, which is kind of an exciting thing. I'll choose this particular folder, click Insert, and so now the entire folder is available there. Again, I'll delete that. You can do some Google embeds. If you want to embed from YouTube, this is a fantastic feature. I'll do a search for a classic synth pop music video, and I can just click on that, click select, and the video is put right into the page. I can resize it and do some other things with it, just like I can with photos. You can make it open in a new tab. There's some settings that you can change. Okay, so really pretty smooth for embedding from YouTube. You can also embed a Google Calendar, and how important would that be in a classroom setting, for example? You can just click Calendar, and your list of calendars appears. Choose the one that you want to share, click Insert, and the calendar will appear there for the viewer to see. Adding a map is similar. You can even do a search for a particular map, or you can choose a map that you've already created. But I'll just do a search for Liverpool in the United Kingdom. There it is. I'll select that as a map and add that. And then finally, down here toward the bottom of the insert list, you can also insert Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets directly from those tools instead of having to go through Google Drive. And also Google Forms. You can put in a Google form right there into the page. Okay, click Insert, and there it is, ready to be filled out. You can also put in charts. So as I said before, this really is a remarkable improvement to Google Sites. It's so much easier, much more pleasant to build your website, and the finished product, I think, looks really nice. When you're done creating your website and all of its pages, which I can get to here to make some edits, or I can just click on the navigation up here at the top to go in and make some edits, add some things to those pages. But when you're completely done, you can go up here and click Publish, and then think about your website address. Now it's going to have the domain that it's going to have, right? But you can add to the end of that, and you can put maybe the title of your website right there at the end. Who can visit my page? Just people from within my domain, or anyone on the web. You can even let Google kind of advertise your website for you a little bit by checking this box. Then just click Publish, and it is now a published website that is accessible to anyone. One last thing that you need to know about with the new Google Sites is that you can pretty easily add editors so that you can have more than one person working on the same website, and they'll all have edit options. Now you would have to make those changes. You'd have to invite people to be editors with you, and you might need to change this so it's not just private, but you definitely can collaborate with others on building a website. So I hope that you have access to the new Google Sites. If you don't, it should come eventually, hopefully soon. But in the meantime, you can be dreaming up what website you will make when you have the access to it.